Hey there, how you guys doing? Hey Jeff, I'm glad to see you're here. Isadora, my mod, thank you very, very much for being here. Um, and she's so flexible because sometimes with my health, I don't always know, and she just kind of doesn't, she has no way of knowing because I just, I need to get, Isadora, I need to get your email again, um, so that I can let you know on days that I'm not gonna, if I'm not feeling well, because I thought I need to let her know. That's, not cool. So anyway, I'm glad you guys are here. And I've already started to star some questions. I think I got a couple, and some cool ones like Fiona. I was just listening to consciousness, different shows on consciousness and stuff on YouTube, and alternate uh, parallel realities, 4D, 5D, and um, uh, the afterlife, NDE, different levels, different worlds, realms, whatever way you want to call it. And I was thinking, ooh, I want to talk about that. And there was some things that a guy had said that I thought was really relevant to people that are interested in like, what is this 4D, 5D stuff? And really what it is, um, from what I can understand, partially at least, is that you're going toward alignment with your higher self, and the self that is kind of godlike, and you're looking to evolve this part of your being toward that awareness, toward self-awareness, that kind of thing, and being aware that you're here on earth as this is an experience. Kind of puts a strange effect of looking at things with from a more kind of not distant but more objective perspective at times. It helps, I think, in understanding this. Um, oh, your cat Mitzi. Yes, I like doing readings like that because one time I saw a cat spirit. It appeared right in front of my eyes and disappeared right in front of my eyes. I was watching Letterman, and it was late 80s. Yeah, I'm still taking questions. Renee, may I ask? Okay, Hawaii. I'll just take what you posted right there. And Erica, I'm glad to see you. And I've got your question with Mitzi. And Elaine, hi, how you doing? And Jeff and Ellen R. Thank you all so much. And those of you that are coming in, hope you feel inclined to stay and lurk at least. So I am taking questions. I've got four so far. I can take probably another six, seven. That would be all right if people want to. If not, no big deal. I'm just warming up, so to speak, because you definitely have to warm up to this. And boy, once I get warmed up, you get that psychic warmth. I've seen it happen to other people, so it's like, oh, it happens to them too. Um, I don't watch other people's stuff that often, but I caught that now. I can't remember who it was. Who was it? Maybe it was Linda. I don't know. Linda Grindle, because most people know who she is. Okay. Or she likes to call herself the Comanche Psycho. Sometimes that's her. I'm not. That's not. Um. Anyway, yes. Please put your questions in all caps, just like this. So, and just like Crystal Blue did here. Perfect. Yes, Crystal. I'm taking that. And your cat Simon. Ooh, this is cool. I like this. We're going to be doing cats that have passed on. Oh, and will JD, I see your thing. Ever be president? We got a political question. That's good. Get some spice in there. All right. Now we're up to wow, we're up to seven. See, sometimes, man, before you know it, as we warm up, people start coming in. Some leave, some come and go. Thank you. Thank you, Perla. And Elaine. Okay, I'm gonna get that. It's always good to check in with your guides, and sometimes you can get confirmation. A lot of times you can get confirmation if you have been picking up on things, and it's a good way to keep on track. Let's see. There's this, hang on a second. There's this cable that's annoying me. All right. Let me just take that one and make sure I got it. Okay, yes. Elaine Rogers. All right. I just need to slightly tidy up the question section here. So, okay. Because I have Perla down twice. I just don't want to make sure that okay, there we are. Don't need that one. Okay. Hey, Gina, how are you? Ellen R. Pretty sure I did. Let me just, yeah, I've got your question starred. It is about Simon, right? My eyes are watery today. I'm always puffy because I've aged and that the bad deposit slips, when you get older, how much fun that is. But the idea of getting that cut or anything, I've had surgery enough. Ooh, I'm getting old. That's all there is to it. Um, so that will be good. I've got a few people asking after their cats. Oh yes, I was telling you the story about one night in the late '80s when I was a young lass. um, Probably about 19 or 20. I mean, just. Uh, I was watching David Letterman, and I turned my wheelchair from watching him, and I was completely sober, and I was going to do like a 360 turn pretty much and go into the kitchen and to get a snack. It went to break, and I couldn't even turn and pivot in the seconds it would have taken me to do that when I was stopped and just frozen. And I saw this cat. It was like someone had turned on a color film projector, um, film of a cat walking probably about a couple feet, maybe, above the ground. It wasn't, one of those. Well, it's always curious when we hear about and having witnessed this occasion of seeing what was a spirit walking above where our ground is. You wonder, is this stone tape memory? What is this? But anyways, from an earlier time when the cat was here, is the cat just coming through, and hovering, visiting this realm for a moment because it was in mid-step as it was appearing, and it disappeared in mid-step. It didn't stop. It was wild. So I feel confident to read on cats that have passed. I think that I might have good luck. I don't want to jinx myself, but I think I can't believe I saw it. And in fact, as I saw it, I said that. I can't believe what I'm seeing. And I went to ask my mom, who was asleep, and she couldn't really be bothered, but she was like, oh, yeah, yeah, I see things out of the corner of my eyes all the time. And she said, it's nothing to worry about. But I was so freaked for a moment and shook would be a good word, that it took me a moment. And then, I accepted it for what it was. And I thought, that's really cool. Yes, will justice be done this year? That's a good one. Okay, so we got 9. I'll take maybe one more and then I'll stop at that because it'll be long and I am kind of tired and I didn't want to take an antihistamine because that stuff still makes me feel a little odd. Okay, so we'll see how this goes. All right, let's go ahead and start. And what I'll do is I'm going to read and chat a little bit and then get the next one, da da da. That's kind of how I try to make it go, a natural flow. Because I like to see comments and stuff too. All right. So, Fiona has the question about parallel universes and do they, here we go. And do they exist? All right. And as I said before, I was listening to some programs on consciousness and stuff. I believe these parallel universes definitely exist. I think every night we go, or whenever we go to sleep, I think we venture into many of them. Um, I think there are several. I think numerous, inexhaustible number is what I feel, just intuitively, from what I've experienced personally and over the years. And I've had stuff happening since I was a child. So, but I'm going to ask the cards, just kind of like the yes, no, and to share with us more things that we may want to know or consider about this topic. What spirit wants to share with us. So I'm asking my guides to guide us in this topic of parallel universes and if they exist and whatever the guides think we might need to know about them. I think that's pretty good. Because if this reality exists and our sleep realities exist, there's it makes sense, right? All right, let's see what we get. I wanted to give it a really good. Let me clear my throat. That's the downside of not taking the antihistamine. This is a yes. And to me, I'm getting movement. And this is like interdimensional travel. This is the Eight of Wands, and it's fire, and it's movement, and it's inspiration, and will, creative will. This is our effervescence type of an energy. And we get the King of Cups. To me, this is like the ability to sense. And maybe there's certain people that we can meet in these different, I often dream where I'm returning to the same, like there's a town that is like my town, but it's supposed to be my town here, but it's different. And I often think that that's like another reality for sure. And it is. Um, it's probably lower dimensional because of the dream. The higher vibration, the greater, the more vivid and more real than real, the hyper real it feels. Um, and that's a higher vibrational reality. To me, this is very much the compassionate uh, male energy, receiving, receptive, and the intuitive. We need to open our minds here. To me, this can be closed-minded, talking about that. Yeah, look at this, and the Ace of Pentacles. To me, this is like open up. You want there's more to know, to be received, and this is just like a beginning of understanding. The taste, but you need to open your mouth, kind of like when you're a kid, and they're like, "Come on, try it," and you're like, "Mmm." And then, you find out that either you like it or you don't, but you experience it. So I feel like that's what we're being shown, that we need to open up our understanding and not be so closed and fearful, and insecure, to accept a blessing, that there are other realities, because it's part of the home truth that we've been kind of in that, what do you call it? The veiled, uh, uh, forgetful state that we come into, because this realm is dense and it's heavy. And you know that because think about it when you get overweight and you could feel it, or when the body is heavy. And if you've ever gone out of body, it is not. You're like, whoa, and you don't know your own strength, you know? Fiona says, Stephen Hawking believed there are microscopic black holes, that makes sense to me, that cannot be seen by our eyes all around us, that are portals. That's what I often get. And it's funny that you say that because I often thought maybe these black holes could be some of the tunnel to the other world, to our, eternal form, our energetic body. And so I kind of think, well, it wouldn't surprise me if some of these tunnels are the black holes, the portals, if you will, for when we leave this earthly realm where we've incarnated into this tight meat suit, you know? And if you've ever left your body and you've had trouble to get back in, and if it's actually been painful, it has been for me on a couple occasions where I was really out of it. Um, mm, it feels like your lungs are being squeezed when you try to get into this. It's very painful. It can be. At least that's what I've experienced. Other people might experience something different. And he said that those holes are too small for any of us to go through. Well, there's a limit to maybe not. I think that they're all around us. I think that's why they can spontaneously occur in like nursing homes and places like that where people are passing. Um, and when people pass it home, it's like it's portable, you know? I think that they can spontaneously occur as well as have like a doorway that's more established. To me, they are doorways. They are a link. They are a bridge to another world. Like, like when you in a building and it has that crossover to the other side of the building, but there's a rampway or something you got to walk over. It's like that to me. How did I leave my body? A lot of times involuntarily without even knowing how through sleep, just finding myself waking up in a hyper real situation. Um, Other times were my accident that I experienced that left me in the wheelchair here. Um, I viewed my body from being, God, it was so interesting. Consciousness is super interesting, you guys, and when it's part of the clue to learning more about who we really are and getting closer to our higher selves and kind of gaining a more broad perspective. Um, but you just begin to see that it's definitely real and all of that, but it's not the be all end all. It's part of a big facet, And so sometimes I can leave my body, uh, usually without any attempt, which is like freaky, and takes a little adjustment, especially when you're suddenly out and you're like, "Wow, how did I get here?" And I have no idea how that happened. I just put my head down. Um, Mostly that, and usually through sleep, through trauma with the accident, and a few times while I was awake, once when I was down, and I think I've shared that here, but I think it's important to say it, and it sound crazy now. That's fine. I don't care. I'm old. Um, Other people have this happen. If it's happened to me, I know it's happened to other people. Uh, Sitting by the ocean talking to my mom at the time, again, late 80s, right before I met my husband. I had just moved to the town that I live in. And we were looking out and we had just gone shopping or something. At the time I smoked, I know, that girl. Um, and we pulled up and we were looking out at it and that water and the light and it's kind of if you've ever looked out at the light on water, it's kind of mesmerizing. And I think it must have just toot, 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 got me in position and I popped out. And all I know and all I remember and was allowed to remember was I went to a place very quickly that was all white light. It was all, and it's like the white light that I've heard people that have actually had physical trauma experience where they've died. But I wasn't dead. And you can experience it without dying. I did. And it has come around a few times. That memory was like I flashed on this what looks like the sun behind clouds. You know how brilliant it is, and there's rays. It's beautiful, but it's kind of like that. It's almost blinding, but not. And my mom and I just disappeared from consciousness, but I was still to my mom. It looks like I'm looking out at the water, and then boom, I come back in, and I just remember the flash of white light, and I'm saying to my mom, I'm thinking, God, I hope I wasn't having a stroke or something. Yeah, but I didn't. I didn't. Trust me, I've had scanned. Most of my body's been scanned by now, 50, nearly 58. Um, but no, you know, I just said, did we go and pick up cigarettes? And she looked at me like I had two heads. And she was like, uh, yeah, we just did that. And I was like, man. And luckily I could tell my mom, my experience and say what I could. And so we can leave without even trying out of our bodies. And just, to me, the universe just takes me and sticks me in places. I don't know how I get there half the time. And I think that's because I also double water sign, in my chart with the moon and the ascendant in Pisces. So the very little earth I have with my son, I'm glad to have. But I have these experiences come and go in cycles, and I know that we definitely are going. Trump isn't just a contrast, um, and a horrible destroyer, but we are going to rebuild, and it's not just foo foo woo woo, wish washy talk. I can tell you that just from the dreams I've had, we're going toward an end and a new beginning. And we've seen that with the readings, getting the death card all the time with him. He's the one that brings an ending, and then we rebuild and we start getting things put right the way we want them or would prefer them. Not perfect, I'm sure, but you know what I'm saying. That's the gist of what I get, that going toward 4D, 5D, all that, all this is pulled in. You know what I mean? It's all together, it's coming together. We're living a very interesting time, and where we're going to start to accept that this way of understanding different dimensional realities, I think, will be proven with science, and they already are doing that. It's just going to become more widely known once we can get being stupid out of being in vogue with the ruiner, and it'll run its course, and it's Trump's time will run out. I just asked Spirit as I was preparing for a couple hours, I said, tell me what I need to tell them today. And what I've learned the best way, because if you want to get in touch with your guides, you have to be persistent, you have to get a thick skin, and you have to wrestle with it probably a bit, but that you're not going to always be able to control it. Sometimes it's going to come to you when it knows is best. So for you, it might be when you're in the shower, you know, or like me, I have to be often asleep. It's unusual that I get in the I think a relaxed, receptive mindset. That's the best way. So whatever you can do, whether it's a bath and then reading a book and then opening yourself up for your dream time, it's such a what we need to do stuff like that, especially right now, for our intuition building, critical thinking, and maintaining our well-being and sanity. And I hope that you guys are limiting your exposure to the news. Of course, I want you to be informed, but not overwhelmed in thinking, everything's, you know, nothing's going to be okay. Don't give him that. It's not the truth. He is a destroyer, yes, and we are the builders. We are light workers. And it's one of those things, well, where you can go, what a jerk, and you clean up the mess and you go, well, what are we going to do? Well, let's make it better than what it was. Okay, you know? And people start saying, hey, veterans got to be looked after. Yeah, well, that needed to be changed, blah, blah, blah. I think then we can have those real conversations. I think we have to keep that in mind as we go through it and we see him doing terrible things. Jeff says, I've always been fascinated by time travel. What is time? Time was something I was just, uh, someone in a listen, I'm sorry, a program I was listening to is just saying it is a human construct, so that we have something to measure, and it is a human construct, our day by. It's really an illusion, but it's something that we have constructed. It's a construct. Time is a construct, a human construct. Just like creating worlds is probably more of our higher self construct, something we probably do. Maybe planets and other places and different realities. Think about it. It's infinite, right? And I think we just aspire to become more aware and more self aware and being able to handle kind of the frequency of being able to feel that truth that we are all connected. And we're all moving toward that feeling where we're kind of going to grasp hands like my dream and where we get plugged in. I think more of us. I have no idea what's going to happen to the people that persist in sticking their head in the sand. I guess, we shouldn't be um, too concerned with that, but focused on doing our own, self care. You dreamed of being a shapeshifter. Yes, me too. I've had shape, I can't say um, where I've changed shape or shifted from my consciousness into the body or recipient of somebody that I know was not me. You know what I mean? So, like, it's inhabiting another form that is not necessarily my. But what is our natural form? To me, we are an energetic being, so we could animate life uh, forms. We can rest in them for sure. I can rest in a plant. I know that sounds mad, but I've experienced that, as I've said, in those death-like afterlife dream states that I've had. One where I was talking to a council of various animals that were huge, and our it sounds so trivial, but in our true form, we are not these tiny little dense human being. We are really expansive, and I think that's part of why it hurts so much when we come back into the body, where our energy is much more expanded. So it's interesting to see these intelligence, if you will, of their world, their species, different ones. There was an eagle, and there was a bear, and there was a turtle, and I could understand what they were talking. And it was like at first I was skimmed into it was like it was like the first Earth language, but it was telepathy, and that's all I knew. And it was like as I began to figure out what they were saying, they made sure I couldn't. They kind of the sound just kind of dimmed, so they weren't going to allow me to know what they were discussing. But they were discussing about basically giving me to know all the animal, uh, I guess, higher beings are discussing how we treat the Earth. And I got your question, Laura. So there's a lot going on. There was an experience I had where I went to a reality where there were no more humans on this planet that was like Earth, but I don't think it was Earth. Um, and there was these big robotic things that had hunted down anything that had resembled a human like being. And it was, I only know this because it was a very short dream experience, but in that I come to the hyper awareness that I'm in this beautiful world and there's a stream and there's this little beaver like creature. It's super cute and I love animals. So I'm just like, oh, and I'm just thinking lovely toward it. And it says to me through telepathy, oh, your kind aren't welcome here because these things will hunt you down and you need to leave. They are not friendly. They don't. And that's where he kind of gave me the download, this little creature of in this realm, um, humans are not allowed on this planet. And I think it was definitely because of something that happened here. And just as I said that, I got this weird energy for recalling that dream. I've not shared that one with you guys, but I think there are definitely other other planes of reality, and it's so immense. And being a shapeshifter is crazy. All right. There was a Trumper on X saying how the leftists are being taken advantage of. The Dems are grifters. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's just exactly that. And that's why I wouldn't just to tip your toe in and go, oh, that's what they're saying. But there's so much of this that's going to happen, you know, that where they're just going to be absurd, just absurd. And at some point when you're like, okay, I've had my fill of that for today. Uh, Make sure that you uh, untoxify your mind because, and I think everyone needs to know that despite the darkness of right now, hold on to your light, hold on to the light. Like I said, we'll get through it. It's not going to be pleasant, but we do make it through. Trump, not so much. It's going to be, um, his own destruction of himself really kind of just comes back on him. So don't allow them to manipulate your energy and make you afraid. Um, don't be afraid. And we're supposed to speak truth to power. Stick up for people, stick up for yourself, fight from your corner. That's what I was told from my guides, all from the get go. And this is not just happening in America, this is a worldwide energy that's going around in a lot of different nations where these wealthy one percenters are looking to squeeze the earth for themselves and make it like a class thing. That's not going to go over very well. But we gotta, take action, and we will. But we can't be complacent. Okay. So, Tony, your question. Thanks for all that are coming in. Please give me a thumbs up if you find this chat interesting. I'm here every Sunday at 3 Pacific time. Hi, Maya. I'm anxious to move away from my obnoxious neighbors. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's nothing worse than that. Fortunately, I'm pretty lucky that way. But I've not been. I've had problems, so you have my empathy. I am on the waiting list for affordable housing. Do you see me moving anytime soon? Yeah, affordable housing right now is probably, I think a lot of these programs could be affected, and it just means like delayed because they're creating such a mess. But let's just see. That's a real gut instinct, and I think it's common sense too. But let's just see here. So is Tony Z going to move up on that list? Is that coming? Is there a place? See, Tony, I think there's a place for you and most of us. And it's what I experienced with myself was that my mom and I wanted to live in this town that we currently do. We thought, that's never going to happen. I thought I got to change my attitude. And I'm not doing magical thinking because I'm not real woo woo like that. I got a little show me in there. So discernment's good. I like to see manifestation. But usually that means like what I've seen is that we get that door to open just like me. I'm really wanting to move. And I thought I'd move 4 or 5 years ago. No. But I can see why now I haven't. I have some stuff to get together and get away and clear out. Also, there has to be the place that we want to open up that would be the best for us. And sometimes, often, Spirit's not going to have us go into a place that wouldn't work out. There's something yet that must align, if you get what I mean, on some level. And then that door opens. But let's just take a look because it will open. I don't think that you're meant to be around these obnoxious neighbors and neighborhood um, forever. That's another thing that needs to be redressed in gentrification of communities and mixtures. No more of this pushing out of lower income people. Needs to be mixed, in my opinion. Queen Maya here. So let's see. Tony Z. Guys, what does Tony Z need to know about the moving? It's in the future. It is not immediate. To me, we've got the three here, but there's that door. Wait, be waiting. This is that waiting for the ship to come in. What I was just talking about for the right door to open, the timing to align. And this is being aware, and you're ready. You're definitely ready. Just like this dude here. He's like, yeah, I'm real clear that I want to move. When can I hop on that boat that's coming in? When's my ride coming in to take me across the water to where I want to move to? And it usually is further out too with this card. And that's why it's not only just further out in time, it can actually be a distance, often with this little knowledge there on that Three of Wands card. Plus, you get this to me feels like a neighborhood immediately. This Ten of Pentacles, a number of people. Also, I think it's going to be a mixture of people, old and young, babies and adults, and maybe of a better or at least a varied but stable, maybe more stable economic background. That's a real strong vibe. It's waiting, it's there, it just needs to open up. Look at that. There's the ace. It's coming. That blessing is going to come to you, but when the timing is right, there's an ending. I think we've gotten this for you before. There's an ending that has to take place first. I hate it when I get this card. I'm like, it's the trump card. It's like, oh man, the forgive my language, but the pissy stuff. Oh, yeah, we get to go through that. It's, it's the shish that you don't want to deal with, and you got to tie up loose ends and look over completing things and releasing. A lot of times we get this when we need to release. We don't need to hold on to everything. There's things that we need to kind of master and release. And then things shift. And I kind of been getting that vibe for you there. All right. Now, we've got a King of Pentacles and we get a male energy here. And this feels like there's money or finance. Maybe he's somebody that works through assigning the affordable housing because housing would not be surprising, given that Earth of I'm sorry that the Pentacles are Earth and he'd be the King of Earth. So this could be somebody in the housing authority, and this could be an opening, quite possibly. It's kind of that rush of excitement. There's, the pumping up of overflow of emotion. So it looks again to me like it's further on down the line, but it's there. There's just something that needs to play out here, and I don't know what it is. So, maybe talk with your guides over that and ask them how to guide you in doing so every day when you get up, go to bed. Okay, Tony? So you will move. It's there, but there's just a shift that has to take place before that happens. It looks like from the cards. Okay, Mitzi, the cat. Does my cat, Mitzi, have a message for me? Oh, how cute. Okay, let's see. You know what I want to use? I think Mitzi wants me to use this deck. This is the synchronicity. I always get tongue tied. The Synchronicity deck by Kathy Nichols, Kathy with a C. And she has her own website.com, kathynichols.com, if you want to check it out. It is always a staple deck. When I lose it or it gets too tatty and shredded, I get a new one. All right. So, Mitzi. Let's align with Mitzi. I'm asking my spiritual mentors to help me align with Mitzi on the other side. Erica's cat. Mitzi. Mitzi, do you have a message? Do you have a message for Erica? What is your message, Miss Kitty? Miss Mittens, what's your message? Oh, I should have clicked this back on the live. Okay, there we go. All right. Mitzi the cat. What is your message? All right. Protecting love. Oh my God, she's holding a cat. I had no idea. I mean, I've seen this card, but I've never noticed the cat before. So I think Mitzi's saying that she protects you on the other side, looks out for you, just like you protected her here. Oh, that's so dear. That is so dear. Oh, it's so sweet. Oh, oh, my heart. I'm serious. This is like, that is so sweet. And wildness. This is being free. Being free. Let's just take a quick look at that. So, protecting love and wildness. Oh my God, that's shower small creatures with love. Oh, she's connecting. Yeah, she's here. Hold them dear. You will help them triumph over adversity. I think she's saying you need to keep taking care of animals because you are healing to them and you do them so much benefit. So once again, never give up. Oh, that's persistent. Sorry. It was protecting love. Shower small creatures with love. Hold them dear. You will help them triumph over adversity. So you're meant to be like a caretaker. All right. That's part of her message. All right. Wildness. What does she mean by this? The wolf reminds us to honor the wildness of our being. Take chances. Wander, travel, unknown paths. Okay. She's saying get out of your comfort zone, mom. Um, get out of your comfort zone. She protects you and looks out for you, wants you to take care of more pets. Erica says she came in a really hard time in my life. I felt her purpose was to support me and you her. I mean, it was mutual. Look, it was mutual. And look at the heart here that there's, over your heart chakra. Oh, that is so loving. And she's saying, be yourself. Also, don't be afraid to try something new with the wildness. What else we get? As a toddler, you only wanted stuffed animals. That's how my kids were. I liked Barbie and all that. I tried to get them for them, but they wanted only the animal um, figures. So that's what I did. I got what they wanted. I even got them trucks. Didn't want that. They wanted the animal figures. Those are the ones that won hands down. I was supposed to have surgery about 2 years ago. Okay, Mary, I'm gonna take that. All right, and no more questions. I'm full up. Oh, and Sandy, I'll take yours. Okay. I'm sure your mother-in-law is, but I will definitely read that, but it will kind of go in overdrive on the readings here now, but I will read on it. So she came into a really hard time, and she also says your intuition. I think also she wants you to grow and use your intuition. With loss, I feel like there's like a mediumistic kind of a skill here, quite possibly. You know, you have a great sensitivity for those that have gone through loss, animals that have been rejected, so on and so forth. And you have another animal here coming into the with wisdom through intuition. Now let's just get the wisdom and the uh, intuition and loss real quick looked at, and then we'll go on to the next question. Um, Intuition. Center yourself. Listen to inner wisdom. Okay, center yourself. Okay. And where loss, especially, is concerned. All right, that makes even more sense. sadness, regret. Oh, missing her, missing of lost love, rank or item, potential for transformation. I think she's saying, I'm still here. I watch out for you. I've not gone anywhere. Don't mourn me. Don't be sad. I'm right here, Mom. And you will intuitively, you can feel me. So that's what the message I'm getting is. And I feel like there's a thank you for taking care of her. A real strong sense of that. That was amazing. How sweet. How sweet. Okay, let's see. Next one, Renee. And then we have Crystal Blue, Ellen R., Elaine Rogers, Para Diaz, Perla Diaz, Laura, uh, the artist. Check out her work. Check out her website, her YouTube. Mariana, Mary Fortenberry, and Sandy. Okay, so you all going to have to be very patient, please. And I'll do my best to give you a good reading, but keep moving and chat with you more toward the end. All right. So, should you move back to Hawaii? Let's try this card deck again and see what we get, just for a challenge. Some certain card decks don't work for certain questions that we have, but sometimes I like to push it and try and see if it, you know, does marry up. And if I don't feel like I'm picking up something, I'll just grab my other deck here, my typical tarot. It's good to, mix it up a bit though. Okay, so back to Hawaii. Should Renee Lopez move back to Hawaii, would that be for her best? Would that be the best for her and her life, what she's meant to do or needs to do? She meant to go back to Hawaii. Well, this is like a messenger between worlds. Maybe coming in from like the darkness of the unknown. And I get the Empress. I think maybe because to me the Empress is Hawaii. So beautiful, the powerful goddesses, the truly earthy goddesses making earth, the volcanoes. Let's see what else are we getting here. We're getting communication. Are you back in contact with people on the island? Whatever island back there? There's persistence. So keep at something. Don't give up. And we get a communication that is evolving around persisting. Sorrow. You have come to, it looks like a crossroads. The Magician. I think, it really depends on your will and on what you want to manifest or create. If you find the area that you're in feels dark, I feel like shifting there might bring more light. I do. I think that might be a good idea. Let me just see with a few more cards and I'll try a different deck. Here I get joy. I, the cards are lightening up as we look toward, in my mind, what it would mean if you moved back. And incantation. This is like a prayer. Um, it is, let's see, what was, I should say, because they've got a little interesting blurb for incantation. What was it? Oh, words evoke worlds. Okay. So in this incantation, use your words carefully. Success in writing, public speaking. I think it's up to you. There's a creative part of you that if you think that that would be to your benefit, if you would more aligned there, I think maybe you should. Now let me just see with this deck. More of a clear yes or no. Is there a more clear yes or no for Renee Lopez on moving back to Hawaii? It would do me good to check live conversation. You want to go, your daughter does not. My name, okay, real name is Rebecca. Okay, all good. I can see why there's that conundrum, why you're in that walking on that road to start. Do you feel like the environment around you is just kind of dead? It's lifeless, or it just looks dreary, or like you might feel like it's gray. Does that make sense? Because it's just the colors that I noticed on the thing. If that makes sense, then maybe we're tracking here too. Um, will Rebecca end up going back to Hawaii? I think that you might very well with this Page of Wands. The energy, looks like a start. Yes. Oh, special needs. Washington. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of rain. You got to be a rain person. You have to be a rain person to be there. And if you have old creaky, if you're over the age of 35, you're probably enjoying a lot of arthritic pain. I'm just thinking, I think, yeah, going back where to a warmer place might, and look, it's fire. That really kind of feels like it's possible. Look, home. I think you could return. This is the home, the domicile. Ah, I think you could definitely. This is looking at where, like, you're in this home that I'm seeing you here. Look at it. Look at all the flowers, like Hawaii. I've been to Maui, and so I know what it looks like, and I love it. It's lush, right? Um, and this just strikes me as you need that lush. You've got, okay, yeah. Is Hawaii better for you with the lupus, even though they get a lot of rain? I was curious about that. Um, because when I went there, I was in my 20s, like I didn't feel anything. You know? I wasn't in my 20s, I was 18. Anyway, I see the chariot. This is travel. I think you will go back, at least, and look to move. You're just waiting. You're just waiting for that door to open for when you can go. I think I think you will push to move back. And I think, you need to do what you need to do for your body. And I know doesn't get it there. Ugh. And maybe that's why I think it's you waiting for them to have something that's at least um doable for her. Okay. Maybe you're waiting for that time to open up and then you move back. This could be you traveling in the meantime, but really making the big move later down the line. There's help. Look at that. This is the assistance, right? There looks like there's a male here connected to this assistance. Maybe there's somebody you'll be in touch with about that uh, back there. Somebody in maybe Washington, maybe they could put you in touch with maybe somebody. I mean, it's worth asking, right? Because look, here's the Empress and the star. And I just feel like you're meant to be there. Your energy, your spiritual energy is aligned there. Yeah, I think you will end up going back no matter what. And I think that there's hope. Don't lose hope, okay? Even though you hate it right now, just know that each day's one day closer to you being there, okay? Even though that it might be a bit ways off from as soon as you'd like. I see it on your horizon. And we literally got the horizon cards of the two and the three of wands. And you got the chariot. I think you'll be traveling there. And I know that's hard to do with special needs. Um, good grief, getting on an airplane. Oh, it's miserable. Oh, well, I see, sometimes I think, things can, change. We see the Queen of Pentacles here, and we have the Hermit. I see, exploring, looking more deeply into something. So I think that if you apply looking more deeply into something, here and getting that kind of a special help and looking for that, I think that that's good in the meantime. But it's just that there's something that you're waiting on. Look, there's working on it. To me, this is also specialty. Let's see what we get with the specialty card. Ah, there is something that has not yet been unveiled. There's a secret, there's something that's hidden from our view, or obscured. And it could be this could be the special services. It's a shame because Hawaii, which should have, because it's so accommodating, um, more, but I know that it's a series of islands and it's different. I get family and I get money issues. This is also ancestors or like community. And there's a decision that comes, a legal decision. Maybe there's going to be things that work out with that. There's something legal that comes in. Yeah, and there's counsel. Okay, you're getting counsel. And it looks to me like for the opportunity to go where would be best, where you feel like would be best. And if it isn't Hawaii, and I can't imagine, I can only say that wherever this is, I feel like you're asking about Hawaii, and it just looks like that might work out for you. This might not mean that it still might be that, you're going to have to wait for quite a while for things to perhaps move along over there with the kind of care she would need. But I think it could end up being developed there. And it looks to me like there's people there that you might want to end up, or with somehow, I think there's a man you'll end up being in contact with. And I think that there could be a link between Washington and Hawaii. Maybe there's someone in Washington that will somehow link you up. I'm not quite sure. Wait, you're in that annoying position of waiting for the ship to come in, the two and the three. I'm sorry, Alina, we're all full up. I've got like questions and I'm struggling to get through here. Uh, so you have to kind of come early at 3 p.m. It gets taken up pretty quickly. But thank you for joining us, and I hope that you will lurk and give a thumbs up. You'd be so kind. All right. So I think you can end up doing it, but I think it's up to you. You could really make it work, but it's to make it work for both of you, it looks like time. And doing that prep work of like checking in for people that can do the work being set up over there. Okay, so Crystal Blue is next. Do my guides have a message for me? All right. I'm just going to use a regular tarot deck and see what they have to say. And then we have Ellen R., Kat Simon, and Elaine Rogers with asking about her guides. And then Perla with about J.D. Vance and Justice, and Laura with about her son, and Mary about surgery, and Sandy about a mother and okay. Just wanting to assure you who are waiting, that's how many are ahead. All right. So Crystal Blue's guides. And don't worry, you don't have to use your exact name. The guides are, go above and beyond that. You could name yourself Pretzel and they would know it's you. So, Crystal Blue wants to know the message for them from their guides. What is the message to get through to Crystal Blue? What is the message you want to get through to Crystal Blue? This is a message of humor and lightening up, enjoying humor, the childlike, seeing through the eyes of a child. Um, and then we have a very earthy mother, maternal, gardening kind of a feeling here with the Queen of Pentacles. And I'm getting nature. I just got to go with what I'm getting here. Um, this also could be a feminine guide that is talking about humor and lightening up the energy. Usually, when I get the Page of Cups, it's about being a bit silly, allowing yourself to watch comedies or to loosen up a little bit, to let yourself laugh. And it's really been hard to laugh lately, hasn't it? Except for in Schadenfreude. So I think that it's maybe a message. Let's just see some more here with the cards that are coming from her. This is about overcoming and winning a battle. And to me, this is saying like you're doing well, you're doing fine, you're going to have success. And it's paired with overcoming, I think, bad habits or addictions, and that can be like even the obsession of speaking to yourself in a negative with negative thoughts, or thinking poorly of yourself. Even that is a bad habit. And it's anything and everything that holds us down, whether it's from smoking cigarettes or crack cocaine, God forbid, or you know, thinking poorly of yourself, low esteem, and believing and allowing others to oppress you, the codependent relationships and things like that. This shows overcoming bad habits, heavy energy, giving up things that seek to zap you of your, seek to enslave you. It's reclaiming your power. So there's a message to lighten up and reclaim your power. Okay. I will look at that, Renee. I will look at that. We have the Ten of Swords. This is release. So there is the release of, I think, the negative, right? Negative thinking or habitual behavior. Okay. So that you're going, this is a message of you're doing great. You're kicking the devil's butt, you know, and mopping the floor. You're getting it. You're getting an edge on the devil. You're starting to see how to overcome those things and how to busy yourself with positive, not to fall into negative traps. All right. There's a new start coming. Now, this can sometimes be about a new job. It can be actually a little bit of money or some kind of boost. It's like a blessing. And let's see what it's connected to. It's starting to manifest a change in your life. I think, you start to see your life turn around or improve, probably financially if you've got bad habits. We can end up spending money where we need to cut back. And, if we're overspending, things like this, to the very, mundane, to just taking use of your will and being in charge and not allowing the devil to be the one that calls the shots. Notice the hand gestures are exactly alike, almost. But this is when you are in charge, and this is when bad habits are in charge, like let's say drugs. That's a real simple one, right? Everyone can recognize that pretty much. But take it, like I said, it can be negative thinking as well. Um, Not thinking you're worthy and depreciating yourself or others even, or allowing others to do that to you, to oppress you, and you're in a codependence. It can be unhappy domestic relationships that are toxic. This is the change. This is the change in your day to day life. Something's flipping over a new leaf, I'm getting here. Yeah, there's an ending happening and it's really good. It's a release again. You know how we had that 10 of swords over here? This message of release for that new horizon, that sun to come up. and the sun in death as well is seeking to come up. There's a new day, which coincidentally is most definitely our political climate at this time as well. The destroyer is destroying all around the world, and they're going to run their time window down. And then things shift and we go toward rebuilding. So you're doing great, Crystal. They want to say, "Got away, kiddo." They are proud. I feel like I see them like coaches, like life coaches, and they are. They have to be. Most of the time we don't even realize that they're there, but they are. They're going, "Oh no, she did that again," or, "Come on, do better." We know you can do. And they're just right now, they're really super proud and stoked for you from that. So keep up the good work. All right. I just want to see about Washington. Why was she directed to Washington? What was the point, the purpose of Washington? Such a good question, Renee. I'm so glad that was helpful. I have no idea if it was. So I'm really grateful and that you can at least confirm for me that it was helpful and made sense to you, especially because I don't know. I just get a feeling and I go with that feeling and the story I'm seeing the cards tell. And that's why sometimes I'm not always correct, and other readers too. But the longer you do it, the better you get. And some days I can't read for crap. You ever have one of those? Those of you that read regularly? Oh my goodness. It's just like, no, put it down, Maya. Not happening. And then you wait a few days and then your readings are like smoking. They're so hot and you can feel it. It was right on. Good. And that's the whole point. That's why I have my channel, because is to pass the message on that we all need to hear from each other. You know, we all need to share our gifts of light with each other. Don't hide it under a, you know, bush or whatever, as they say. All right. So let's see about Washington real quick. What was Renee's or Rebecca's reason need to go to Washington? What was its message? I'm sorry, the word I wanted was lesson, because that's what we have. Everything here is a lesson, good and bad. You all know that, though. I'm not dealing with any new souls here too much. I think we're maybe a vintage soul model here in this community, right? And it's okay. I'm so happy that we're having this good discussion now about who we really are and what we're doing here and helping each other. Okay. It was having faith and taking a chance. Sometimes you have to take a chance and try something new. And if it doesn't work out, I guess you have to be the fool again and find the other place. You have to be willing to fail in order to succeed. You have to be the fool. You have to take the chance. And there's clarity now. Look at the clarity with the sword. We're also getting a male energy, and I wonder if it's a guide for you. He's guiding you through this new path. I think he's guiding you to discover what you want to do for yourself and need to do for yourself and your daughter, and how to make that happen. No duh, huh? Yeah, look at that movement. He has you moving. He wants you to, these are certain spots that you are meant to visit along your travels, your life, your destiny. If it's nothing more than to know exactly what you don't want. Maybe that was, oh, I just got that was part of the main message. That, okay, you weren't sure about Hawaii, but once you got to Washington, you knew that Hawaii was now preferable than Washington. And it's looking like that. This is about being in that lush garden, the lady in her lush garden that is in alignment and comfortable physically, mentally. She has her bird here, that's her falcon, and she feels comfortable. And ex- this is about experiencing variety, that there's more than one way. And I think these are the various places, but you got to figure out which one is the sweet spot. The Goldilocks syndrome. And I think that it's basically to know that there's more than one means or way to do something. And maybe you can move back there and find through time or some way the care that she will end up needing. And I think there's something about this. Yeah, look, it's like there's a delay, there's a bit of a sacrifice. And I think spinning your wheels there is helpful in the way that it helps you to resolve in a gentle way and a more thoughtful manner with your will and asserting your will, not in a reckless fashion, but in a very careful fashion, just like this lovely lady is looking out for this lion and shutting the lion's mouth. It's like your care for your daughter. You want to make sure that she gets the most loving care and understanding that not, she's not going to be sacrificed, right, for that. And here we have compassion and a release, an ending. I don't know if there was, again, maybe there was an ending in someone that gave that care. I don't know. And there's a burden. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it. And you've got family. And to me, the rainbow, it's like in the water here, Hawaii. It just feels like Hawaii or a place that's tropical like that. Okay. So I think Washington was your trump, was your I don't want this. And maybe you needed to know that despite maybe what's there, you just can't hack the climate. And that's okay because that's a real thing with your condition, you know? So you got to find the sweet spot, Goldilocks. I know. I have to do my own thing like that too for my body. And you're going to find it. And it probably is going to be back in Hawaii. But it's like there's a time. So just learn your lessons wherever you are, no matter what, and be open to it, is what I suggest. Especially even if it's only to know that this is exactly what you don't want. And you'll be a lot more less stressed, you know? And knowing that you're moving towards leaving this every day is one step closer. Okay, so next we have Ellen R. Does my cat Simon want to tell me something? Let's try this deck. Again, the Kathy Nichols deck. Simon. Kitty, kitty. Simon the cat. Ellen's kitty cat. Simon, what have you got to say? What do you want to share with Elaine or Ellen? Sorry, my eyes are not the best. What does Kitty Cat Simon want to share with Ellen R? Success. And it says wake on this, like being awake, awakening, wake, and success. And we have communication. So he's talking about success. All right, something is successful. And he's saying to look, there's something also about did he chase birds? I'm just thinking about him wanting to. I got a visual of him wanting to put the bird in his mouth. Maybe he always, we know that our pet cats love to watch them at the window, even if he wasn't an outdoor cat. But that was the first thing. I know it's to speak truth to power, um, but yeah, speaking truth. But to me, this is also, I just kept getting the cat with the bird, wanting a flash on that. Simon has been with me about 7 years. Basically, I want to know whether he is happy or is there anything I can do to make his life better. He looks speak truth. Well, he is communicating here. He says joy. Oh, no, soulmate. Soulmate. Speaking truth. He's telling you that you guys are soulmates. There you go. There's a lady here on YouTube and on Instagram, and I think his name is Paquito. That's her cat. Very cute, and she calls him her soulmate. Um, to me, I think he understands you. Is that maybe what he's saying? Or to me, it seems like any kind of communication or understanding is there. It is successful. It is there with him. So let's take a look at what it says with success as well and communication, because we might just catch a word or two that really kind of nails it. All right, let's see. Okay, the soulmate, one who is a true kindred spirit and sacred love. And that's very much true with our animals. I get it. Speak truth. Um, that might be it. Is that it? No, as far as I know, he doesn't chase birds. Does he watch them? Maybe it was just my thought as him as a cat. Neither here nor there. But anyways, let's see what else he's saying here. Definitely the soulmate thing. And where was that? Yeah, one is who is a true kindred spirit and sacred love. All right. Communication, connection and conversation, building new ideas and worlds with others. Maybe he wants to develop better communication with you. Doesn't watch them as far as I know. Yeah, I'm probably off. I wouldn't pay any attention to that one, but this one, I think he's definitely talking here about communication because we have speaking, truth to power, and we have communication here. We have success, which I was looking at, right? Good fortune, right action, victory in all things, triumphing over obstacles to achieve higher purpose. Maybe in communicating, maybe he thinks that you guys understand each other. He is an indoor cat and not really interested in looking out the window. Well, well, then I think he's definitely interested in communicating that you and he are very connected. At least that's how he views it. That's his truth, I guess. Because this is speaking truth, and we have soulmate. What else? Gentleness. Oh, gentleness and wisdom. So he's wanting to bring gentleness and wisdom. And the wise owl sees with clarity in the darkness, find guidance by staying calm and focused in the midst of the unknown. All right. And gentleness. I think that shows how curious he is as well. Um, Gentleness. Gentleness. Sometimes we mistake hardness for strength. This card reminds us that softness of heart and gentleness of spirit can guide us in unexpected ways. So I think he appreciates gentleness. Does that? He is a gentle boy. I was just going to ask, is he a real gentle kitty cat? Because, some of them are remarkably um, very gentle and thoughtful. And you can just see it, that they're very focused. Beauty. This card I know from the other night I saw is of like seeing beauty it's in all things and gathering beauty. Oh, I think he perceives what more than we would probably give him credit for. Let's see here, really curious. Okay, the beauty. Let's listen to that one. Rare spiritual or physical loveliness. Is his form or like a nice coat or markings really handsome cat? Because this indicates kind of like a rare beauty of spirit and outward appearance also can be part of that. as a manifestation of inner beauty. So it's talking about, he might also be a way of saying that you're beautiful inside and out. And there is gather. So drawing and collecting forces to assemble, harness together magnetism. I think you draw beauty. I think he's giving you a compliment. Feels very positively toward you. He's very chill. Very chill. Oh, attraction. There is a hummingbird there, but can also just be like what he's interested in. And winter, there could be a change. He is a rescue, so really don't know, 10 or 12. Yeah, getting older. And I wonder if he's referring to that kind of here with winter, because it kind of feels like, and I think strength, there's endurance and spiritual guidance. I think he's part of your spiritual team, like your spiritual support team. So count on him. That's so sweet. I love that they come up with gentle. I can just hear it like that in my head. It's just like, oh my gosh, Kitty is gentle. It's the only way I can describe it. Let's see what else we get. I just want to see what else. Simon, do you have anything else you want to share? Are you a little older than your cat mom knows, or a little younger? It says that you're about 10. I'm just talking to him like telepathically. Even though I'm talking out loud right now, I'm sending it. Reflection. Yeah. And leader. You're the leader of the team. Wants to let you know that you're the leader of the pack of the kitty cats. I think he taught me a lot about unconditional love. They do. They do, without question. Mine has as well, so I know what you mean for sure. And I think he sees you as the leader because you feed, you're the one, that gets the food, you're the hunter. And he appreciates it and he thinks about that in a respectful way. There's reflection on you doing things for him. Um, Getting him food, taking care of him. And perhaps because, as you said, he's a rescue and he wasn't shown that this way before, I think he really appreciates it. All right. And he looks at you as a soulmate, that you guys are kindred spirits. That is so sweet. I can't stand it. Oh, kitty, give him a snuggle. I love him. Okay. And this is Elaine Rogers. Okay. Do my guides have something to tell me? I'm going to try using a different deck on you guys. Now, this is a new or an old deck, but a new deck of an old deck that I had years ago. And this one is called the Wandering Star Tarot. And I got this because I love the artwork. I like things against a dark background. It doesn't hurt my eyes as much. All right, so this is a brand new deck. I'm going to give it a darn good shuffle. Okay, let's see. Elaine. What do Elaine's guides have to share with her? What is the message they want to get through her spiritual mentors? For her just to reflect on and think about. Is there something she needs to know about? Oh, I've got a bad shoulder. Elaine Rogers. Okay, let's see what we get. Oops, I'm getting the Hanged Man. So this is looking at things differently, and things can be sometimes also, oh, we can get times where there's delays and things like that that can be frustrating, but sometimes there's a good reason for that, and things can work out actually better. So it could be that. Two of Swords, that's interesting. So you're kind of in a station, they're showing a stationary position for the present moment. Now, often with the Two of Swords, it's about making a choice to move or not to move, to do something or not to do something. And you're either waiting for something here. I don't know what that is. Let me look at my live chat here. We got always forget to bounce over here on. Gracias, merci. You're welcome, my dear. There is something here, though, Elaine, about a pause in your life. Something's on pause, and it takes action to to make it flow back on, to make things come, move forward. So it's like there's reflection and using wisdom in a different perspective, maybe looking at a choice from another perspective, okay? Ooh, yeah, I like that real well for these two cards together as a choice that needs to be looked at from another perspective, okay? Choice says, might be more than one. Let's see what else we got. Ace of Swords. This is about getting clarity. And once you have clarity, then you can make a decision and maybe get out of being in a rut or stuck someplace you don't want to be, etc. It's paired with the King of Cups. So I don't know how the King of Cups fits in. Maybe there's a masculine energy around you that is key, and you'll be clear upon him. I don't know if this is somebody you work with or friends with or more with, but there's a masculine, compassionate, perhaps energy, very sensitive, um, with that King of Cups, typically. And you're getting a Queen of Cups. Okay, so now we have the pair, the King and Queen of Cups. We're talking about emotions and intuition and compassion for others. And there's a man and a woman, and I'm being shown clarity. I don't know if this is about a relationship. The Knight of Cups, because it kind of looks like it, there's something that's offered or brought to you that someone's going to ask you or that you might ask them. There's an offer that is in the spotlight. And wow, Judgment. Crazy cards. This is an offer that could be life changing and change your perspective, to be honest. This is evolution of awareness that grows through old forms of the way you were once, giving way to new you emerging awareness, the growth and awareness of who you really are. As cheesy as all that sounds, but it's like you put down the ghosts of who you thought you were. You outgrow these things and you shift into a more evolved awareness here. And it comes through potentially here, this offer. And I'm not sure what that is. It has something that has yet to reveal itself. The High Priestess, there's so much spiritual energy and intuitive energy going on here. This is something that has not come out to reveal itself yet. All right. And ooh, the Magician. I picked that up wrong. It would be like this. And this is about creating what you want and communicating when you want to be more direct and maybe not just pulled back and silent. But you make that decision. It's clear to you, and now you're going to use your will to manifest what you want. I love them too, and I saw them again the other day. I thought, oh, I remember that deck, and I thought, I wonder what happened to my old one. But I ordered it again, and I can tell why it's probably an old one because it's that very kind of cardboard that kind of I shred very easily. The Fool. You have new beginnings going on in your life, big changes. Go with the flow, don't fight it. Okay, that's also part of it. Ten of Swords, release. Again, a lot of us are needing to release a lot of pain, old trauma, crap people have projected onto us that have taken us down and made us feel bad, bad memories. We have to release. It's not that you deny them or anything, it's just that you release them from weighting you down. You acknowledge them, but you know you've moved past them being heavy anymore. So it's a release of that stuff, a lot of heaviness. And you got the Knight of Swords. You're going toward, trimming the bullshit. And I think this is you being, mess with these paws. Mess with them. Go ahead, see what you get. I will, you're not taking any nonsense. Yeah, Page of Swords. It's all about the truth. Four Pentacles going towards stability and security. Three of Pentacles. Working with others. There's like connecting with other people, working in groups, and creates security. That can even be roommates, it can be people at work. It looks good. You're right on where you need to be, Elaine. You are in for a big growth and change this year, and it's coming. This spring is, oof, a lot of us are all doing it just in different ways. All of us have our different things we got to work on, but we're all being called to work on them right now. All right, let me get a sip of coffee before I read on JD Vance. Oh, your mother had, thank you. While I get a sip of coffee, I'll read this after I get my sip. So I was just praying for her last night with my candle. Um, so Jeff's mom, or Ma, because he's in Belfast, Audrey goes through a massive operation this Wednesday. She's 80, her heart is weak, but she's determined to do this. And she is fully aware of the dangers. She is brave, brave, brave. Please pray. You got it. I'm praying for her already, last night, every day. And we'll lift her all up here. And I'm going to take a moment to ask everyone just to take a moment of silence to lift up Audrey, Jeff's mom, and for the best for her surgery and the best outcome. What is for her best? Brave woman, beautiful woman, good soul. And we entrust her to the most divine love and intelligence. Amen. There we go. We got that. We got that. All right. Will J.D. Vance ever be president? All right. Oh my God, my nose starts running. Of course it does when it's about Vance. Surprised I didn't pass wind or fart. He kind of has that. Me and my toilet jokes. All right. Moving on. So I'm going to look at J.D. Vance being president and if there will be justice this year, and then Laura with her son, Mary, and Sandy, and that's it. So just three more after this. And Mariana. Sorry. Laura, Mariana, Mary, and Sandy. Okay. Will J.D. Vance ever end up being president of the United States? God, I hate saying it. Will he ever end up being president? But let's just ask, open mind. So I asked my guides to answer clearly to me. Will he ever end up as president of the United States? J.D. Vance, please show me clearly, guides, with this deck. I'm getting the Chariot. I don't like that. This is movement. He's trying to advance. Advance. Anyway, we get the Chariot. This is the wheel. Oh, but the Tower. Oh my God, he's gonna crash, you guys. When you get the Tower and the you first get the Chariot, this is usually like a car wreck. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, really. I just wish he would go away. But this combination is well known in the tarot that it can be like a wreck of some kind, or an accident. We have the chariot, some kind of movement, and we do have the tower. If it's not the movement to try and take the presidency that might crumble in his hands, it could be that too. I say no with these two cards. Think he's gonna try. Think he's aiming for that, but it's gonna fail, and he's not gonna expect it. Oh, holy smokes! Something's coming, y'all. It's big. There's that Three of Cups, the little clicks, right? Let's just see which click this is. And we get a Queen of Wands. We get a female, and we get a female with a group behind her or that she's part of. I don't know if that's it's probably the Dems. This could be AOC. Isn't she a fire sign? I could be wrong, but she can be fiery. Um there's something with a woman and a Queen of Wands. Is that Harris? I don't know. I really don't know. Let's just hold it open. I think that's wise. And the Five of Swords. Oh, 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 oh. Well, that's not good. Trying to bully people like he does, telling lies, making up horrible lies about people that aren't true and spreading it like a teenage bubblegum head fool. See, you don't even have to use bad words. You can really show his ignorance with demeaning, dismissive words. And the Six of Cups, the past, nostalgia, and the King of Pentacles, Elon, and the past. Something's coming. And I think someone's going to start smacking him around a bit. Maybe this is a female in the Democratic Party that's part of a group that are speaking truth to power. And that might quite possibly pull the rug out from underneath him in trying to do so in an unexpected fashion. Maybe they figure out, maybe a group figures out how to pull the tower up. Excuse me. So I do think a group could try, well, not could, but it looks like they are going to be instrumental in having an effect on negating that possibility. And his bulliedom. The Four of Pentacles. This is the grift. He's trying to hold on. Eight of Wands. But I think he's under pressure and he's like a target. We get the Ace of Cups. There's a lot of emotion. He's not, he's going to be mad. He looks to and fully, like he fully expects to get it. He does. He looks like he fully expects to get it and he's not going to. I, something's going to F it up. Ah, they're the same sign, a Libra. Sometimes I also get the, you know what? It also could be Crockett. I think she's a fire sign. I think she might actually be a fire sign. Anyway, it could just simply be on the fact of their fieriness of leading the charge. You know, we don't always have to go exactly by the birth date. Sometimes it's helpful, but it could just be representing that, taking action, because that's what the aces are. Someone that is not idle. Um, and those two women, those three women are certainly would fall into that category. I think he's, oh, the end, death. No. Wow. Wowsies. Okay. And Queen of Swords. I feel like there's a woman, maybe judicially, or there's just maybe a combination of women with legal knowledge in various positions in a government, more than, one woman, but the archetype that is taking him to town legally. I just think he's going to fail. And there's something big coming that yeah, she's an Aries. Okay, that's probably her. And she's the one that calls it scorching. She's going to scorch earth his hine, his hide. So I think the women are going to end his ability to do so. And maybe, I think that King of Pentacles is possibly Elon or Trump. It could be kind of the people in money, backing him. But I feel like women are like looking to put a wrench in his plans. That gave me chills. Mm, we get a King of Wands. That's him. I know he's a fire sign. Okay, what else? The Hermit. I don't think so. I think he's going to have to step back and go into hiding. I think he's going to be too ashamed. Something's going to come out. I think some tea might get exposed on him that he's not expecting, and it just puts him in the toilet. You guys saw the cards. We'll play them back, and many times when I play them back and I look over it, I get more, and I'll drop it down in the comments when I do. Oops. There we go. Okay. So I get, he wants it. He thinks he's going to get it, but he's going to be stopped. And he's going to cause a lot of damage too, just with what he's doing. And I think it's because of that with Trump, him causing the death of so many and so much in our institution, our government, that he's inviting it upon himself. You invite that, you play with that kind of power, whoo, we know what happens. They say when you have that kind of power and you misuse it, um, you pay a more deep price of feeling the pain when it comes time. Probably a considerable cleansing time on the other side if we were to go earth timing it. All right, let's see about justice. Will there be, she's asking, is there going to be justice with these creeps around the world be wanting to be dictators and taking over all the wealth? That upper 1% nut job, crazy sicko bunch of power hungry creeps. They're zombies. They're like vampires sucking the life out of the planet. That's right. If you play with fire, that's the thing. You know, you can't, if you toy with that responsibility, you have to use it responsibly. It will backfire on you. So it already looks to me like, man, we see women of judicial knowledge going after him. So I think that the law, although it's not doing great, I think it could do better. I think it's going to continue at least. Hopefully, it will improve to stand up to him and stop him. But it's going to take somebody that's willing to take on that and to be allowed to do so. Maybe they'll finally allow Jasmine to go at someone with full tongs. So let's just see. There'll be justice for all this corruption with Trump and all these oligarchs around the world. What's are they going to get like I knew about in childhood, the thing with the in the Bible about the merchants, the wealthy merchants and their day ending, that this will come in this lifetime? Will they get stopped judicially? Will there be justice judicially and spiritually? The Lovers. Okay, well, this is partnerships. And we get the Four of Wands. I feel like that we will get back control of our country with the Lovers and the Four of Wands. That's the home, the domestic, uh, you know, our country. And I think there could be, again, I always get a male and female team that will be president and vice president. So I wonder if that's not it with the lovers. This is could be a couple that are quote unquote working together. This is also working on bringing harmony. And I think we are working on it despite us showing the ugliness of all the hatred Trump shows and is exposing by emboldening, and it's awful, the hatred that people are capable of. But I think it's going to run its poisonous course. And then we get, like we often see with my readings, the angel of balance coming in and things shift. And it's not that time anymore for destruction. We have the Six of Pentacles, and this is about the past. Will that be holding them to account for their financial past or finances in the past? Financial, oh, the risks that they took with money. Ooh, and all that, hey, I can do anything I want. No, you can't. You think until you realize you're walking off a cliff, until you don't anymore. The Nine of Pentacles, this is about independence and sovereignty, this card in particularly. And judgment, yes, holding people to account. I think spiritually and at some point, although probably not as much judicially as we would like, I think there are events that will definitely come to hold them to account and open their mind and shift their energy. And quite possibly, once they've passed on, it's also the card of wealth, the Nine of Pentacles, and oligarchs being held to account, okay, for how they've used their power. Just what I was saying earlier. Also got that as I was setting the cards down. Ten of Pentacles. Ooh, we're talking all about the money. And I think the nation and the corruption and the greed, that looks like, what is it, Ivana or Ivanka? No, I never get them right. And the husband, it looks like his daughter and Jared. And the Six of Cups, something in the past. The children, childhood, childlike. Well, she says children. They're children. Something in the family. And I'm feeling like it's the Trump family. I do. Maybe their brand, just in general, is going to be in the poop pot. Exposed. The sun. So, yes, I do think eventually the Empress, but by women, not by some mostly the men that have been too much to capitulate. I think the dim women and women from possibly other identity party, parties, um, are working toward it to bring that will bring them more to justice. I always get that. That's great, Tony. Many times it's good to listen to it more than once. I have to, only for myself. So yes, eventually, but this year, I don't think so. I think we'll just be happy to try and preserve ourselves and try and get rid of them. But I think justice will come after we can push them out of office and remove them in some way. That's what it looks like to me. Either by their term, I hope not, playing out and expiring. I don't see how our nation could tolerate an only day, less than a month here, or almost a month. Um, so we'll just have to wait and see. But it's coming, but I don't think it's anytime soon. I think there's a lot that comes between now and then. There's just so much criminality. Okay, Laura, let's take a look at your son. Will your son be okay? And God bless you. I know you had issues and difficulties. So I'm lifting you up, Laura, and your son, as well as my own family and our needs, and everyone else, everyone here, and those of you that watch this. And thank you for doing so. And if you would, please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. We only have a few more questions. We have actually exactly three, and then the live will end. And I hope to have more energy next week so I can film another video before my live comes due again on Sunday. I have just been, I tell you, we are moving, we are shifting. And if you're tired like I'm tired, and I don't think it's all just because of my health issues, although a good deal of it is, just energetically, man, I can't be the only one. I mean, I'm taking my gummy meds and all kinds of stuff. All right, Laura, let me dial into you. Laura, the artist. You guys, she paints the most beautiful paintings. Go to her, tap on her icon there, her YouTube icon, and it'll take you to her YouTube channel. She makes beautiful art. Something well worth your time to watch when you don't want to listen to garbage about the news. Something positive. All right. Gotta love art. It's our healing. Love it so much. All right. Laura's son. Will he be all right, Spirit? Laura's son. What does Laura need to know about her son? Is he going to be all right? What does she need to know? Is there hope? Is there some course of action she needs to take that maybe she's not aware of? It's hard being a parent, no matter what age, especially when they're older, actually. Oof. Four of Cups. There's some disconnection that he has here. Maybe trouble connecting to this reality, connecting, feeling connected. There's a disinterest. There's a numbness here. Could be going through a depression. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, there's shifts in mood, hormonal influx, as well as kind of what's kind of giving me a vibe. Could be chemical, brain chemistry, hormonal things, biological that our body does. And it makes me feel that maybe some of this is down to, you know, like a disability, like circumstances that he has, that are create this for him, create this mood shift and a disconnect. And there's depression. Oh, I'm so sorry. He needs to experience and let it process. Okay, let's see what else he gets. The Two of Wands. This is waiting for like we were talking about earlier today, for the time to align and shift for something new. And, I don't know if he lost something here recently that he had hoped, but been waiting for. I see the King of Wands. Let's see, this energy picks back up. The Tower. We're having a meltdown. Looks like he might be prone toward meltdowns. Okay. And there might be more ahead. It feels like he's going into a cycle of disconnection. I know this very well because it reminds me of one of my own children. Page of Wands, adult children. This is an energy that's like he's got that Wands energy. It feels neurological. It feels energetic. Like it could be like anxious to get turned into anxiety. Poor fellow. The Fool. He's going to have to take a leap of faith and trust you to help him if he needs help. Maybe you need to let him know that he can do so, and to try something new, be willing to try something new. I know how fun that is to try and suggest. Um, but there is a new cycle that's opening up. The Knight of Cups, there is a suggestion. I think that there is something maybe from the doctors or something for the mood stabilization. Oh, I need to look at my chat log here, see what you might be saying. Uh-huh. You've been feeling sluggish too, Isadora. Uh, you're exhausted. Yeah, me too. It's just there's so much stress going on in all the world anyway, and then in our own lives we all have that. We just need to make sure we get our nap and take our vitamins and drink our water and pat ourselves on the back and do it again tomorrow. Give ourselves some love, seriously. Say, good job. This was hell. Look, the sun. Something is coming, though. I think there could be a suggestion that's going to come that's very helpful. Maybe a medicine, or something that will help that levels to adjust with the Knight of Cups. Maybe it's a new medicine. Maybe it's a different level of medication, or combination. I don't know, but it feels like we're looking at something that's possibly biological and needs uh, the cup, something you would ingest or bring into your body to balance. Yeah, there's a confinement. It must be so frustrating for him. There's then, I think, understanding his frustration and maybe a release from frustration. So I think that there could be some positives coming to help him manage and look toward asking about the medications that he's getting. Ask him about side effects if you can. I know that they don't always want to tell you, and as an adult, they don't have to tell you because mine doesn't like to tell me. And sometimes they will, but and my youngest always goes, "Let them know it's not me, Mom." I'm like, oh, honey, it's so hard. I know when you have special needs adult kids. So I think there's hope. Let's just take a look again for him. He's needing a shift, and maybe it could be with environment or medication. It's a change, and he's going to have to trust or go outside the box and have faith. And I know that when they are control freaks, especially if they're, anxious and highly strung, it can be very difficult to get them to open up. Let's see if he's going to open up for you a bit so you can assist him. Will he open up so he can be assisted more? And will he receive that assistance? Is it coming? We ask that for him and everyone in need. There is an ending. Okay, let's see what we get with that. The magician. And it can be, if you think that he's in danger, then you might want to take action. Let me just see what these other cards are here. This worries me a little bit, because we can feel really bad and hopeless one day, and then the next day, if we just waited, you know what I'm saying, Laura? The morning star, he closed completely down to you. Okay, that makes sense. All right, in November. I'm sorry. I've gone through years of that, so I know what that feels like, where I didn't even know where they were. The mother star. The mother star, that's you. You're the mother star. Okay, what about it? Strength. It'll be okay, Mom. And you're going to there's not a lot you can do. You're going to have to let go. Oh, I hate this. Um, this is strength, and this is going through a difficult time and trying to endure. And you will, but this is hard for you. He drummed it into you that you can do nothing. Uh-huh. Yeah, oh boy. Boy, this sounds very familiar. Doesn't fit the criteria to force. Yeah, know this. And unless they are threatening to harm themselves or someone else, there's, nothing else happens. Four of Swords. This could be recuperation and pulling back and hopefully recovering. I don't want it to mean what it can also mean sometimes. We get the Knight of Cups. There is, look at that, that's a beautiful card. maybe there's going to be some help that's offered again. Now we're getting a Knight of Cups here. Benefit, investment, prosperity. Oh, it's Pentacles. I'm sorry. I thought, hey, didn't I get the of Cups earlier? It didn't look like this. It's because it's not the Knight of Cups. It's the Knight of Pentacles with the Four of Swords. So benefits, investment, and let's look at this card, the Four of Swords. Quiet, rest, recovery. With the Strength card, I just want to look at these again. Courage, Mom, control. And with you, the mother, where's the mom? Yes, the word is yes. My son be okay? I think this might be a yes. It does say yes on the card. Death is beginnings new and transformation. And beginning a new, it could be change. So there could be change, but you want to make sure maybe that you can somehow kind of keep, if you can, kind of a bird's eye on him through someone if that's possible. And we'll all keep praying for them. These are about, harmony, decisions. It could be also relationships here with the lovers and the Knight of Pentacles. It is definitely about working on harmony, maybe with a partner. Four of Wands, the issue of home. I'm so sorry, Mary. King of Pentacles. Maybe that's the father, his father, I don't know, or your partner, because I don't know the dynamics here, so I don't want to just assume. But I get a man in the home, and it looks like there's support with each other because it's visionary, generous, reliable, and creativity and union with that Four of Wands. It is possible, and I do. Three of Cups. To me, that's what, and the Five of Wands. I think he's just in a battle. This is a battle that he has to do. And the Eight of Swords, you feel trapped. This is the anxiety. It's also him feeling trapped. I hate this. They've got to, he's got to hit rock bottom, I think. And I don't know that there's much you can do about that so that he can rebuild with the tower. It looks like if things continue this way, you know, he could make some choices. Then we have Temperance, balancing the extreme, and a Queen of Pentacles. Could be you taking care of him because that's a very motherly card or a partner. But I think he reaches a breaking point, and maybe he'll be more open to you at that point. And I think it's a little further down the line. I think he's still, spinning toward a difficult cycle that he's going through. So I think, yes, there is hope, but this is a real, I hate mental illness. I really do. It is a real struggle for him. It is a war inside his head. But you're going to make it through. And you just lean on that um, mother star and the strength card, with the lioness. And um, that's enduring as a mother. All right, so Mariana, you are next. Will April bring me good things? Let's see. Oh, sorry there. I think your son, Laura, just, you know, has to really, sorry, uh, go through a hard time. And I know that's hard for you. Sorry. I'm okay. I just know that's hard. I grin. Okay. All right. Let me get myself together here. Ah, All right. Will make my makeup run. Will Mariana have a good April? Show me April, Mariana. And four cards. What are the positives for April, Mariana? What are the positives for April since we are now almost done with March? Mariana, what is for her guides for April? What do we get? Well, we get, take care of, you know what? Take care and rest. I want to say a little caution about flus and things like that, because this could be you like recovering or just pulling back and like feeling a bit run down and like, oh, I feel like I was just saying earlier, like I need a nap. Damn. Um, and it's paired with the Empress. So it's like, to me, this almost feels like the abundance needs to be restored. So April might be more of a month that's more kind of subdued, maybe more reflective, where you stay in a little bit more, maybe sleep a little bit more, catch up. And I feel like kind of get with spring because that Empress card is so spring. It just feels like the spring energy, the new energy that's shifting. But it's like you gotta protect. I'm gonna say watch burning the candle too much, working too hard and not getting enough rest, or, it's so easy when we don't eat right. The Seven of Wands. You have the strength to make it, but you need to make sure you take care of yourself. Month of April. It's challenging. April will be more challenging. It'll demand more from you, more energy out of you. But there's something to do with the past, and it might have to do with children, or I don't know if you have children, but it could be connected to children, grandchildren, grown children, even, or even your childhood or a sibling. But this is all kind of connected to that nostalgia and family and your children and your childhood. So I'm not quite sure how that fits. And with the Queen of Pentacles, this could be like a sister. I don't know. Is it spending time with a sister or a mother, a female relative? Maybe. Or friend, maybe from the past. Or sibling. Hmm. And I get the King of Swords, masculine energy that brings clarity. And we get, yes, the star, Mother Star. The Mother Star. Let's see what they say about the Mother Star. I don't remember that. Which number is this? There's no number on it. Yeah. Come on. There's the star, but that's not the same. There we go. The Mother Star. The path that has led you to where you are today has been full of twists and turns. There may have been times when you doubted yourself and lost faith in your guides. The Mother Star's appearance means you are coming to a place now where you can look back and see that every setback served a purpose and that every failure taught you a much needed lesson. The strength, courage, and character you've gained along the way have made you into a unique and resilient person, Mariana. It's time to step up and embody your full potential. The Mother Star holds a cup and a sword. It's really a beautiful card. I think she's so pretty. And who doesn't like the kitty? Of course, nose is running. Okay, and she wears a pentacle around her neck and is flanked by wands. So she has earth and fire. Her journey and soul exploration connect her in a balanced way to each suit. So that's each of the elements of the minor arcana. Water, that's emotions. We're talking about all levels of being. Mind, body, spirit, basically, kind of. That they represent and the energies, the different elements. And if she appears in a reading, you have specific yes or no question. She represents a resounding yes. The guide, her guide, the gentle three-eyed winged tiger, is also here to offer you assistance, wisdom, and strength as you embark on this new chapter of transformation. Well, you're going on definitely a transformative journey where I think you assert more of who you are and more being who you naturally are, your feminine energy, not hiding that light, just what we were talking about here. And there's real clarity. I think that you will come away after these challenges that you will handle, you'll deal with it, but you have to make sure you're getting enough rest for the month of April, because it looks like you could make yourself a little bit vulnerable, I think, to getting sick or picking up stuff, especially from family or people that you're in contact with regularly. There's the Page of Cups, like children or having fun, lightening up, and the Three of Wands, looking forward. Know that all these challenges are not going to last forever, that we are moving forward. And so when you get challenged in the month of April, it's just a reminder that you are advancing. And just to take the humor where you can make it, bring humor into the situation, pull back when you need to in order to rest. That's a key and essential. Okay, Mariana? Because it looks like you can have some really challenging stuff. You could be that like you're not getting enough rest or something. Could be like a little flu bug or something like that. Nothing major, but just enough to make you go, I need to get rest. So take care of yourself there. Okay? Okay. Next one, Mary, and then Sandy, and that'll be the last one after Mary. Have a grandson, does good for a while, then slides back and forth. Oh, bless his heart. That's hard. It's hard. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. What do we need to know about the grandson? Can you please help the grandson with his efforts to try and straighten up and put down the things that get him in trouble and don't do him any good? Let him realize that that's not what he really wants to do. He's just frustrated, needs to find another outlet and a healthy means to deal with frustration. Let's take a look. Mary Fortenberry's grandson. What does Mary need to know about the grandson, and how should Mary respond to her grandson? It can be difficult. My goodness, these kids. Okay, we're getting the Knight of Pentacles. I think that could be the grandson. Does he have trouble with substance? You're welcome, Mariana. You're doing good. It looks like, you're going to be in alignment. Just like I said, make sure you get enough rest, TLC yourself, don't run yourself ragged, and you will have the energy that you need to handle the challenges from work, life. Yes, look at this. I'm so glad to see this, Mary. Temperance. He has temperance. This is going to balance out someday. Oh, thank God. Oh, he's somebody's kid's going to do that. I think as he ages, I think he'll put it away. I do. I think he will become more reasonable, maybe, hopefully. Let's see. There's that balance card. If something is hidden that we can't yet see that could happen or occur that might encourage that change. These are events and things that we're not aware of that could come to pass that might push him more back on the path of recovery. Yeah, look at that. I like this for him. Thank God. Six of Swords, going in a better direction and allowing himself to be guided. Um, and maybe knowing himself and allowing other people, like I said, to guide him to what he needs to do, where he might need to go to do that, recovery of some kind, perhaps. And we get the Ten of Pentacles. This is family, this is community, and this would be support. but also burnout, 10 of wands. Like, family's had enough. Family might say, you know what, sweetheart, this is the last time you're doing this. Because you do this time, you're going to be in the slammer, and I'm not coming to get you. I'm not going to bail you out, etc. You will have consequences. And that's what you're going to have to stick to because it says burden, demands, overload. And this is like inheritance family. So the family's overloaded with the stress. But he's going, and maybe that's something you need to tell your family. The cards show him getting back on track. He just needs to continue to be encouraged. It's hard. Look at that. He's got a wound and a trauma he needs to figure out how to heal. Poor baby. We can all empathize. That's an old wound there that he just needs to open his heart up and yeah, sorrow, heartbreak, grief that he's held on to, bottled up. The emperor may be connected to a father figure. Um, Heartbreak around a father figure, being a father. I don't know. Eight of Cups, moving on, moving on, like being done with it. He's got to decide that, you know, that feeling of like, just like I did when I would quit smoking cigarettes. You got to decide that, you know what? I got to decide for myself that I don't enjoy smoking anymore, that this is not what I want to do. And what, until that's me making that choice and not someone else's voice making that choice, I remain confined by addiction or confined by bad habits. Um, there is the moon. There is dealing with fears and insecurities and trauma and the subconscious. He's working out. He's working. Okay, just lost his job. This could also be the insecurity and uncertainty with that. Seven of Swords. This could require some cleverness on his part. I don't know if somebody was taking something that they shouldn't have, not him, but, and it could be someone that he was working for. Nine of Swords shows him really worried and stressed, not sleeping. The Two of Cups. I think that's him wanting to get on track. I think with meeting people and finding people probably to work for where there's something works out, you know, and relationships. Doesn't like his father. Okay, that makes sense. We have the King of Swords here. All right. And the Mother Star. I think that's you. So maybe he'll feel more like talking with you. There's some clarity, or a man that brings clarity to the Mother Star. And I think that's you. Reliable, visionary, generous. King of Pentacles and Five of Pentacles. It's a tough time financially, but I think he's just got to persist. Tell him to have hope. He gets the star, that there's good things going to come. Just got to be patient and keep persisting. Yeah, the star that right now is a trying time with the devil. The devil's going to throw up all kinds of tests. And that means jobs that don't pan out. Oh, I really wanted that. He's going to get the crap and feel like that tests him to give up. It's like it's going to make him want to give up. Tell him not to. Look at every rejection as just part of the test because eventually that's going to change. With the star and the devil, the Six of Cups, this could be children. I don't know, working around children. Career, beginnings, travel, Ace of Wands. Could be a new job. And it could deal with reconciliation, harmony, children, childhood, something maybe, I don't know, is service work? I have no idea. His memory, he has special need. I see things are going to work out for him okay, though. I do. It looks difficult for a while, Mary. Tell him to hold on. Tell him he's going to be tested. To get ready for that. And that's half the strength is knowing it. And then he's going to new job. We get the Chariot. get moving forward. And the Five of Wands, there is competition. So he might want to brush up on some skills there so he gets an edge. But I see success and and some kind of competition. He listens to me to the to extent too many people telling stuff. Well, maybe he just also needs to just, you know, have some time to let that meld. Six of Wands. That's good. Yeah, it's going to get better. And the Queen of Pentacles. So, overcoming challenges, and I think a new job, learning something new. I think he's going to get a new job. But before he does, I think he's going to undergo a lot of challenge. That the devil card to me feels like more of him losing hope. And especially if you said he has a little special memory, special need, a little bit, he might feel a little bit like who wouldn't? You know, you lose a job and you might feel a bit moody. And he might think, oh, nobody wants me. I'm not going to get, tell him that if he starts that kind of talk, that that's the kind of thing that the test is about, you know, and that he will get a new job, but he's being tested and he has to show that he can be resilient and not give up, be persistent. That is a real message, persistence. So I see it coming. Oops. And now I have your thing here. That's interesting. So you said I was supposed to have surgery, but denied. You want to know, this was also about your son. Okay. Your grandson. All right. Okay, so looking at the surgery, Mary, we're going to do that real quick, and then we'll do Sandy. Anyone, and I'll double check to make sure I've not left anyone out. And thank you all who have listened. So let's take a look at about the surgery for you. He's going to be okay. It's a process, and it's not going to be easy. He's going to be challenged, but he'll get through it, and he will eventually get another job and regain confidence. So just keep urging him to say, that's just part of life. We all get knocked down, but we got to keep getting back up. That's just part of what everybody does. You're no different, and you're doing great, you know? Keep encouraging him. The surgery now, though, is that going to come? Yes or no on that surgery? It was denied. Now they're wanting to do it, but you're not sure if you should have it done. Well, that, of course, is entirely your choice, but let's just see. Does it look like you would have the surgery and be better off, or no? Yes or no? Would the surgery make you better off? Yes or no? I think we could ask that, right? Will the surgery make Mary better off? Yes or no? The hangman. I don't know. This makes me feel like you've waited this long, and if you've been able to manage this long, maybe you could say, it comes down to you making the choice. Nothing happens until you say go. And here you are you're sitting on the crossroads going, I don't know, yes or no. And it is up to you. You have to look at the pros and the cons, obviously, different perspective. Is it worth it? And if you're going to have more damage as a possibility or less chance of a good result, I wouldn't do it. Because as we get older, it can be harder to heal. And if, like my shoulders, both of my shoulders are shot, I should have surgery done on them. But I'm not going to, because then I would have to be not using my shoulders for 3 or 4 months. Well, I depend on my shoulders to transfer and move around my upper body. We get the moon. This is a lack of certainty and fear of the unknown. This is not feeling well. Five of Pentacles. So, And the Nine of Pentacles, feeling much better, independent, more independent. And that's paired with the Wheel of Fortune. It is something that you have to decide upon the risk. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I think it's possible that you could get a good result, but you would want to find out very, very distinct details, Mary. Every question, make sure they answer your every question. Really do your homework on what it would mean for you, because if you find out, like, oh my God, I'm going to be 3 months and I can't do this or that or whatever, and blah, 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 it's up to you. Mm, saved you last time. I think there's a possibility that you could take the risk and it would end up giving you more freedom, independence. There's the sun, there's clarity, and the Five of Cups. It shows clarity on the loss, maybe exposing the blocked artery. Yeah, I think you should probably have that done. You don't want to have a loss. You don't want to make your heart weak or, because of it needs that flow, right? Needs that flow through the artery. So you get the world. So this is completion. All right, let's see what you get with that. And the chariot, it looks successful. I gotta say, I think it might be all right, but you want to make sure that you are satisfied with it, okay? Make sure it's to your satisfaction and read up on it and do the homework. I think it shows that there's a good possibility that you should probably have it done. That's my opinion only. It's your health, and just like the card showed, your choice. Okay? I think it might grant you more reserve, more energy, more stamina. All right. And let me know what you decide. Our prayers are up with you always, Mary. Okay? And your grandson be all right. Sandy, last question of the evening. Is my mother-in-law still watching over me? And who else is with her? Well, that's a good deck here for that question. We'll see if there's other people um, that you've known that are with her. Okay, Sandy wants to know about her mother-in-law, if she's still watching out for her. And of course they are, because they always keep an eye on us. They make sure they keep a pulse on us. I've been told. All right. It's so they watch us while we're in this. It's like they're watching us in a play where we're playing this character of Sandy's playing, Sandy, the human, not Sandy, the higher self, spirit, and completely integrated. Let's see what the mother in law wants to say and who might be with her for Sandy. Sandy's mother in law and anyone else on the other side that wants to say something to her. I'm getting a sense of family coming around. All right, let's just see. We get the Page of Swords. There is communication here. This is about messages, communication, mostly telepathy, mind to mind. Download, download of thoughts. Okay. Nine of Pentacles. This, to me, is for sure she's watching over you. She's wanting to make sure that you stay free and that you stay your own person. Or there's, like, again, about sovereignty and living well, taking care of yourself. And she's well. And she's watching, definitely watching. Interesting. And communicating with you a little bit. It's the Page of Swords, so it's not like big, big, but it's like she might be trying to give you a little download with that Page of Swords. Just acknowledge and see what happens. Okay, and pause for a moment when you feel that coming on. You get the Page of Pentacles with her. Yes, she knows about your plans, and maybe these are finances or earthly matters, plans, your goals, and the steps leading up to goals. She's watching you evolve. Ace of Pentacles. She tries to give you a little help now and there. Yes, she definitely bounces in between realms here. There's the King of Wands. Okay, now there's some male here of a fire sign or like a charismatic kind of a nature, very active, may have had some kind of constraint in his life, may have, it could be like a disability even, um, or like with mobility. I don't know. Is there a male that you know of? A new one on your stomach. You know, that might be worth a try, Mary. Right, check into it and make sure you feel comfortable with it. Get all the, you know, things checked out. Yeah, was somebody, I'm feeling like somebody, I'm getting a male that may have been bedbound. And was this like, they're a couple. Okay, I mentioned a couple. So your mother-in-law and I think your father-in-law. This must be your father-in-law. Did he suffer from some kind of debilitating, I don't know, it could even be Alzheimer's, it could be uh, stroke, it could be anything like that. This person is showing me, this male is showing me that he had some sort of restriction on his mobility. And he had also anxious and was in the bed and I think it was difficult. If that makes any sense, Sandy. We get the mother. There's the mother, mother-in-law, and mothers in general. Very feminine, matriarchal folks of the family. And I'm sure it's more than just her, probably. And the grandmother, and mother before her, and her mother, and that have moved on with the Eight of Cups that have left. So, yeah, there's those that have moved on, keeping a watch, and they know right now we're going through tremendous change and challenge with the Tower and the Two of Pentacles. Things don't seem stable, and they are going to come down. Uh, they know what's going on, in other words. That's what she's saying. And she's saying he's a bully. This is the Five of Swords. Your mother in law does not like Trump or this bully attitude around the world, you know, that attitude. And the Ace of Wands, travel. There's snakes. And there's snakes here too. Hmm. Knight of Wands? Yes. She's active and I think can move between the realms. That's the activity. And it's using energy. There's some way that they do something, they shift their energy. I just felt it for a second and just popped in my mind of we shift our energy and it feels kind of like this right before we go like teleport, if you will. There's a sensation to their energy. It shifts. That sounds crazy. Anyway, King of Swords. You got a lot of family there, and the Eight of Wands. More people coming forward. Okay, and activities picking up and clarity. So I think she's also saying, yeah, I'm here with you through this time of uncertainty. There will be greater clarity coming where I think, especially with Trump, King of Swords is guarded. And yes, there's going to be loss from the past, makes a lot of changes, and people feel disconnected and unhappy. But we are working in groups collectively. And she's showing me the Page of Wands, activity again, new activity, and communication, good news, it says. And Six of Cups, people from the past and your childhood. Do you have a sibling? Possible siblings or people you went to school with? It's that nostalgia vibe. So you got a lot of people there. And to me, this is like she's saying, it looks like a hard time you're going to go through. She's aware of it. Sandy, know that she's with you and that you will make it through. That this is just a difficult time on earth right now for most people, and we'll make it through. Most of us really are going to be okay. I think it will be really difficult at the end of the day not to be able to turn and be surprised and find someone that's willing to help. I think that's we're going to be helping each other more than looking to elected officials on the greater part, you know, until the elected officials learn that they need to take the bull by the cojones. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Uh, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate this time with you. And I lift up all your needs and all of you and all of us to the Most High. And take care of yourselves. Don't burn yourselves out with too much toxic stuff. All right? And don't worry. There's no point in worrying yourself to death. Maya, remember the 1798 wartime law that Trump was trying to evoke to deport people? The federal judges halted it. Oh, yeah, he still went ahead. Yes, I saw that. And because he can do whatever he wants. And he sent innocent people there. Yeah, they're going to have a hard time getting those people out of there. And they're not going to, in my opinion, my instinct is they're not going to get everybody out of there. And that's unfortunate. And that's going to be part of his karma. So glad we're not him. Say your prayers for everyone. All right, folks. I love you. Take care.